Well, good morning, everybody. July 10th, 2025, 10 a.m., 8085 West, 3500 South, General Office Building, Kim Bailey Boardroom. So, Jeff, do you want to read this part on the verification?
Yes, notice of the public hearing was placed on public meeting notice website on 6/23/2025. On the district's website on 6/23/2025, resolution 2025-06 authorizing the issuance of a water revenue bond, which was adopted and approved on June 12, 2025 by the Board of Trustees. All requirements for notice of this public hearing were duly given according to Utah law. So, Mr.
So,
Chairman,
motion?
do I make a motion to open
Yes.
the public comment session? One second.
Been
I'll second it.
motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And as of now, I don't have anybody that has signed to address the board, so I don't know if we give it a few minutes or.
Okay, nobody's
you guys
on.
have any questions?
Nobody's online, nobody.
I haven't heard any comments or received any correspondence about it or anything.
Okay, somebody want a motion to close the public comment?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to close the public comment session.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Board's discussion if needed. Anybody have any discussion they want to discuss?
Is this for the lead pipe?
Yeah.
For the lead. So how many did we end up with? 75?
70 roughly, and they're in the process of just double checking.
Oh, good.
Thank you. So, we have, that project is going to be going out to bid, right?
Correct, yeah. Bid plans are 99% in the specs.
We haven't had any objections or any problem?
No, nothing come through the website or anything on that for the bonding.
Before it goes out to bid, we'll be done verifying.
I've had some positive feedback on it. It's been good.
Good. Good. We did send out, Leal did send out some other noticing that's required for the regular lead and copper rule to some customers where we've sampled in the past, and so you might get a call on that. That's similar. It's similar, but it's not directly pertaining to this bond. Steve can maybe give you some clarification.
I doubt that you'll hear anything from it because we have 60 sample sites and it's the same 60 sample sites that we've had forever. There may be a couple new homeowners that have moved in, but out of those 60 sample sites, we have to get 30 of them that will volunteer to let us take a sample of their house. And we have to, it's up to the homeowner to take the sample for us because it has to be a first draw first thing in the morning, like the first thing out of the tap has to go into the, it has
Where
to,
it's been sitting?
yeah, exactly. And all the instructions are on the letter that we give them, so I really doubt you guys will
Yeah,
have any questions.
Yeah, I think your instructions have been really good because when it first come out, they were paranoid as heck.
Yeah.
But you guys have done a real good job explaining and everything. And so the only problem we've got is if new people are buying older homes, that might,
Yeah, and so this will be the last round of the way we're currently doing it. With the new rule, some stuff will change on the next go round, so it'll be different next time.
that's great.
Okay, guys, anybody have any more comments?
Alex and Trevor, we may want to coordinate. We have that calendar of events that you've created. And I don't know if you had any questions on like when it was going to be bid and when we might close.
First off, I'd like to welcome you. Haven't seen you for a long time.
Thank you so much. I'm Alex Buxton, as I am Public Finance. Been working with Magna Water for quite a few years, actually. But you're right, Nick, I haven't been here at this meeting for several years. So happy to work with you folks. And just to kind of add to Leal's comment, we have created a calendar of events, and this is the last action item that this board will have to do regarding the bond issue. Of course, you adopted the parameters resolution last month, and with authorized the ability for the district to move forward on the bond. And this is the public hearing. So after today, it's just a matter of getting the project bid out, getting the plans and specs over to the state drinking water board so that they can approve everything prior to our closing, and then we'll work directly with the district and district staff, and as well as the drinking water board staff, their council, Bill Prater, your council, of course, as well, Nathan, as well as Brandon Johnson, and we'll organize a kind of a final call to go through everything, make sure that we've complied with all the terms and conditions that were in the memo that we received. We've got the authorization, and then we'll schedule a closing. So just a matter of how quickly everything can get put together as far as the bidding goes and the final costs, and then the state likes to have that kind of finalized before we close on the bonds.
So will the state be kind of the holdup on the whole thing? or-
Well, not necessarily. It's just a matter of getting the state what they need, which is plans and specs, and getting the project bid out and the bids kind of finalized, the costs finalized, and then we can schedule a closing. So they're usually good about moving pretty quickly once all that has been done. Just as a reminder to everybody here, the board was able to get a $4 million loan, 3.2 million of which is principal forgiveness, doesn't have to be paid back, which is amazing. So kudos to your staff for being able to secure that. I work a lot with the Drinking Water Board and the other state agencies. It's very rare. I mean, that's essentially a grant. And then it's very rare to get that kind of, those kind of terms. And then the $800,000 that does need to be paid back is on a 2% interest rate over 20 years. So next to just getting free money, you guys have been able to get about as good a terms as I've seen in a long, long time. Market interest rates on a 20-year bond for a project like this would be somewhere likely between 4.5% and 5% over 20 years. You guys are getting less than half that, and you're only paying back $800,000. So once again, kudos to your staff for being able to secure that type of term. So anyway, happy to answer any questions on the financing side or what happens from now until then. We do have a calendar that's pretty aggressive. I think it shows maybe closing in the next month or two, but again, it's just a matter of how quickly everything can get finalized, and then we'll be ready to schedule a closing.
Alex, I don't know if you've met Marie Owens. She's with AE2S that's helping us with that's the engineering firm. Yeah.
She's really the reason we got in and
Yeah.
got such good terms.
Well, kudos to you.
Yeah, her and Trevor and Leal,
Yeah.
that team really did a great job. So.
Yeah, great job.
On
Excellent.
the engineering side of that, we have sent out all the letters for NEPA, we've coordinated with SHPO. You do have the plans and specs that have the provisions that the state requires ready to go once you authorize that. And it's possible that you won't need the full $4 million for this particular project. You can't transition that to another project. And so those terms of 80% principal forgiveness will be applicable even if you don't use the full $1 million. So if you only use $2 million, you will only have to pay back $400,000.
Wow.
So that percentage, you don't have to use the loan part first and then the grant part first. It's that ratio or whatever you use.
Just don't tell the bidders that.
They don't need to know. We need to know if they're a disadvantaged enterprise business, if they have to meet Davis-Bacon wages, any materials that they use have to meet the BABA requirements, things like that. Which will all be more money. But remember that that will all be reimbursed through this at 80% principal.
Are there other communities in the state that are doing the same program?
A lot of other communities in the state that go through the Drinking Water Board. My experience is very rarely do you get this kind of treatment with the 80% principal forgiveness.
No, I mean that we're probably one of the oldest cities in the valley, or, you know, in Utah. I just wonder if there's any other that are older, smaller communities.
Salt Lake City has more service lines that they need to replace. They've identified, I want to say, 250 to 300. And their inventory wasn't as complete as yours. They couldn't get the full inventory that you guys did. So they may find more. They also have a financing through the SRF for their replacement as well. I don't know if they've gotten all the way to closing on theirs. The fact that you've moved from authorization in February to potentially closing at the end of this month or 1st of August is pretty phenomenal. Usually it takes a full year. And you guys have jumped on everything really quickly, so you're gonna close faster than almost anybody. But what that will do is allow you to start getting those replaced, start that process this year.
Cool, nice.
Assuming you purchase the filters.
There. Thank you, Alex.
Well, thank you.
Marie.
Marie.
Thank you.
So any more comments? Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn this public hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I can make a motion to adjourn this public hearing.
I'll second that.
It's been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're done.
10:12.
Okay, let's start our regular board meeting, July 10th, 2025, regular board meeting agenda. It's 10:12, 8885 West, 3500 South, General Office Building. Today, before I get started at our diocese table, we have Trevor Andre, Dallas Henline, Steve Clark, Andrew Sumption, Jeff White, myself, Mick Sudbury, Danny Stewart, Leal Fitzgerald, legal counsel Nathan Bracken, and leading us today with our meeting is Clint Dilly. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will you guys all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. I'd like to welcome the public and guests, and anybody here today would like to address the board? See none, so anybody here has a conflict with anything that's on our agenda today? See none there, so moving on, let's approve our common consent items. Danny?
Minutes of the regular board meeting held June 12, 2025. Expenses for June 2nd to July 6, 2025. General expenses, $1,858,901.81. Zions Bank bond payment, $83,530.83.
I'll second it.
In motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, what about our new employees introduction?
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, the construction guys weren't able to come in today, but we do have Desiree here. Is she on the stand? We're excited to have Desiree here. She brings a great personality to the office. I think she's learning quickly, and it's awesome to have somebody that is bilingual to speak to a lot of our community when they come in with concerns. You want to take a minute to introduce yourself?
Does that microphone work? Let's start using it if we can.
It's dead.
I changed the batteries. I don't know if it's on the right channel. There it is.
Okay, I don't have a lot of experience with microphones, but here we go. Yeah, my name is Desiree. I've lived here in Magna for about 13 years. And I am married, I have 3 kids, and I enjoy spending time with my family, traveling, and anything true crime. I love.
She helped me with my water bill, paid my water bill this morning, and she was very nice. She didn't know who I was.
So you didn't have to shut it off, I take it. Okay.
No. She told me pay up or get out of the office.
Well, we're welcome to have you here with us.
Yeah,
Thank you, that means a lot.
great.
Appreciate
Thank you.
ya.
Thanks, Desiree.
Yeah.
So then we'll just hold on these other 2 till next month?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on our department report, Clint.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. From staffing, I will say for the front office and the operations, we're currently fully staffed, which is a good position to be in. We're still on hold with the staff engineer position, but we've got some progress that we can report in the closed as far as collective bargaining with the union. So we'll plan on that. As far as operations, we'll highlight a couple things on the water side. That draft lease agreement is completed and all the terms are good to go. It looks good on both sides for the parcel next door. And just waiting on a signature from that party. And Steve can kind of give you an update. He's been coordinating directly on the property itself with Seamus.
So I've talked with him, and we're still waiting on our end for the yard hydrant to come in so that we can put the service in. But he's fine, he's not in a hurry to get that in. And he's gonna actually run fence along that, south end. He's gonna put it back 10 feet or so off the property so that the horses and stuff aren't messing with people's houses. And
Awesome.
their fencing, so once he gets that done, we should have the water in by then and he'll start moving stuff in.
Awesome, great.
Okay. We'll let the board know that, the startup of the reuse this year as our main source for the secondary system has went well. I know that towards the end of June, the reservoir levels started dropping up there more than we've historically liked to seen it at, and appreciate Danny and giving us a call. And they were monitoring it at the plant. So we've got coordination. The wastewater team has to now be involved as well because they're operating the pump station. Yeah. And then the water side's operating this pump station. And they're both coordinating and watching SCADA and levels. And so we felt like we needed to kick on the canal pump station to bring levels back up. But that was just a real short period of time.
Yeah, just that weekend. And what happened,
Dallas and Trevor dove into it with the team and made some adjustments to the programming with the engineering team. And now the reuse is keeping up.
So
And Dallas
it was just a
showed me-
shortage. It was just a shortage bringing the water up from the reuse.
Yeah, and I think it was actually just some set points that needed adjustment. Dallas showed me
We had
a
to bring
curve.
canal water in. You were supposed to call me if you bring it in. I wanted to know exactly when we're getting fish scale water. Good damn.
So do you think that could be the problem?
It was just a couple days.
Think that could have been the problem why we had the fish eggs and all that because it dropped so low?
No, it was
Okay.
before we dropped low. Yeah.
Because a lot of people call me and ask me if
They've
we had a leak.
continued to,
Yeah, that's
Flush.
one thing I was hoping Dan was here, because I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but maybe you've noticed, Jeff, is it cleared up?
I haven't had to change. I haven't had to clean one filter because I put the right one in. I told him in the last board meeting, so he got one. He's got to figure out how to put it in. But
But
the screen ones just do not hold up. They don't last as long. The disc filters do a lot better.
gotcha.
I mean, the water's looked a lot better up
Yeah,
there, if
so-
you see the clarity.
Matt's gone out, he's been hitting it once a week, and it's definitely cleared up.
They said it looked, the first time it was pretty nasty.
The first time was real bad.
No, that's good. Kudos to you guys.
So it should get, every year to year, it should just get better and better, really,
Well,
as
I-
we clean up that.
In my opinion, I still think we need to dredge the pond.
So do I.
I think we've got sediment that we bring over there that's it's just gonna be a problem.
I recommend to do it this fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We had been working with a crew, you know, and negotiating the price and things, and, yeah, I think we had shot for September as being kind of a start period, so probably next month we'll have some numbers, or at the September meeting.
Would that be maybe too early that we should wait in February or something?
Well, I guess that would be like,
Set up.
getting the contract in place, and
Oh.
then the plan would be till, you know, mid-October is when they would
Once
actually start out.
we're done with the system, they'll
Yeah.
kind of move in.
I just wonder if it's gonna be off, but we have a place to dump the sludge, don't we?
Yeah, they would, the whole setup is like frac tanks, and then they suck them out and they dispose of them at ET.
Just have them just dump it back in the canal where it came from.
I will say that I feel like we're turning the corner. We did struggle a little bit on the maintenance, yard maintenance, and some weeding at some of our facilities. We did get some feedback, some complaints, and I think that, you know, it's a combination of factors, but I think Steve and his crew, now that we've got some additional staffing and we're catching up on some of the leaks and the repairs, surface restoration, and some of the expectations, I think we're gonna make good progress at being able to keep up on that. Steve, you got any comments? Anything on that, Steve, that you wanna communicate? You've changed a couple things too, to make sure we address that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Gene, he'll focus like 2 days a week, that's all he does, is yard maintenance. Unless something major comes up, then he'll jump in and help guys, but
Okay, well, I'm the one that complained because I took a lot of complaints over the phone about it, and we as a city are trying to clean up the town, and I'm a big pusher for that. And then me sitting on this water board and see these complaints come into me, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So we gotta figure a way to get all our facilities cleaned up and put in place, because I've never had a complaint ever before till now.
Yeah.
So Steve, if you check into, Steve Regan Company has a material called Anvil. You spray it once a year. No weeds grow. That will save a lot of labor. Spray the fence lines and stuff like that with Anvil. Don't ask me how it's spelled. But I've
Well,
already,
I'm confident in the team. I think it was several factors, and, you know how it can go with the weeding. The conditions, it can turn quick. So, I think we're turning the corner on that. We
It's
should
really
be-
weird too this year, there's been all different kinds of weeds. More different types of weeds than I've seen in the past, and a lot more weeds.
Yep. So I think we're in good shape there. On the wastewater side, one of the things that wanted to highlight to the board is the complexity with the reuse. There is some more complexity to the wastewater permitting and sampling, specifically with regards to chlorine and E. coli. Dallas was just mentioning that we have to meet pretty stringent chlorine limits during most of the year. But then the permit changes in the summer, and we're allowed to increase our concentration of fluorine. That's good coinciding with our E. coli on the reuse permit. We can't have any measurable E. coli over a week period, right?
Correct.
So he's battling, trying to keep chlorine low enough to discharge, but also keep it up high enough to kill the bugs, right?
Right.
In the reuse. So I think they're doing a great job. We haven't had any issues. Just wanted to highlight that to the board. That's up to the complexity of what they're doing down there at the wastewater plant.
If I may add a little context, so on the C7 permit, which is non-reuse, the daily max for E. coli is 126, and the daily max on the reuse is 0.
Yeah.
On the fluoride, do we have to remove everything that has anything to do with fluoride off the property,
Yeah,
We don't
so-
have to, but
other than the structure?
So Veolia, they're gonna come in and, like all our tanks, they'll get rid of all those, and then the pipe.
They remove everything?
Yeah,
Okay. And then the pipeline going over to the plant, do they just flush that?
so the fluoride is actually now, it's in the plant.
Inside the building.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right,
it's
we
inside
moved
the
it
building,
over.
So, once they take out that stuff, everything's gonna be gone.
Good, good.
our requirement was to show verification that it was disconnected.
Yeah,
I can't remember, was there any follow-up requirements after a removal?
no, once it was disconnected, we had to send them a picture, then
Right.
take the sample,
Right.
and then, we had to request an EPA ID number for the disposal of the fluoride. And that gives us 90 days from when we get that number to have everything gone.
That's right.
And then, once that's all gone, we let them know and we're done.
So I have a question on this. So, you know, we're gonna pull all this stuff out, but what's the chance of this ever coming back? So, you know,
that's a good question.
I'm concerned about that, you know, I mean, we go ahead and spend all this money pulling it all out. And like you said, we've disconnected and done what we've had to do through the state or what they've told us to do. Should we just, like I said, get rid of the stuff and then just leave everything?
It becomes hazardous. I believe.
Yeah, I think, I mean, seems like the cycles for these types of, I mean, I don't know that we know for sure, obviously, but it takes quite a long, it's been in place for 20 years.
Yeah.
The length of the service life of this type of equipment isn't gonna go much beyond that. So I don't know that you'd be ahead by saving any
Well, there's
equipment by the
there's
time the cycle turns again, if it does.
Well, there's scientific evidence, and so I think that pretty well put everything in. Is it gonna give us a little more room in the wastewater treatment plant? Or, excuse me, in the EDR plant, will it give us a little more room?
Yeah, it'll open up the fluoride room and we might be able to use it for potential storage, so.
We still have, good air changes because of chlorine and everything, or?
Yeah, everything that way's pretty good, been going good, so.
I think the chlorine's probably more of a air quality risk in the building than fluoride, right?
So the fluoride, it's pretty bad, I mean, yeah, like our old buildings, anything in there, the heaters, everything.
Oh, yeah, it ate everything out.
Yeah.
So was it having an effect? It could have an effect on the new stuff, the fluoride?
Yeah, this design's a lot better than the old setup that we had, so it's not as big of an issue.
Yeah, good. It's awesome.
Okay. The Operation Dallas is scheduling a walkthrough for the reuse facility for the state regulators from DWQ towards the end of July. He'll make sure to extend that invite to the board if they want to attend. This is to satisfy our obligations in relationship with the people that helped oversee the project and make it work for us on our permit side, right?
Right.
Anything you want to add to that, Dallas?
It's just the state regulators, those that approved the design, and then those that wrote the permit.
So they're interested in seeing how it turned out.
So when are we gonna do the open house?
That one we think more September timeframe, right? Or
That's
in
what we're looking at. We've just been, what we don't want to do is create an environment where it's 100 degrees and nobody can enjoy themselves.
Right.
So we think September it cools off, and that gives us plenty of time to figure out the logistics, if we want to include refreshments, make sure we can get everybody invited that we want. There's a pretty extensive invite list, so just been narrowing that down and a few other details.
Yeah. Okay, and then they've nabbed 18 gophers thus far, huh?
18 gophers.
I'd like to make a suggestion. I had the same problem. It ate telephone lines, electrical lines, everything, anything underground. So we went to Steve Regan again, and they have a gopher bait, and you drill a hole in the ground. When you see signs of gophers, you drill a hole in the ground, and it dispenses this stuff in there. It's strychnine oats, and it completely eliminates the gophers.
Yeah, they've been working on it, had good success so far, but certainly, I think that's more than you anticipated, huh?
Sure, right.
Down there, so,
Yeah, it'll pretty well eliminate it. You maybe have to design one person to handle it, but
yeah.
like I say, we have ours in a separate place, it's all secure, but, when we go out, and last year, we had to probably spend maybe 3 hours, well, maybe an hour, 3 times a week, and now it's like maybe every 2 months or something like that. So we've cut it down to where there was hundreds, and now it's down to maybe 2.
More managed.
Yeah. That's over about 5 acres, so.
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine lives up 8,000 where the old rodeo grounds is, and I was over there the other night talking to him, and we're sitting there, and they had a gopher that would get in the garden, but now it move over into the yard.
Yeah, so they can help you with that.
Great.
On the office side, just wanted to let the board, we'd move forward with that customer call in by phone, the payment system, with some directions to the website for new signups and assessments, including some options in Spanish. And Leal can provide some data on how many calls have been diverted that saves time in our office. It's pretty significant.
Yeah, so, this is for 2025 January, we had 37 that made payments through the automated system. February was 28, March was 36, April was 39. May, excuse me, the end of May is when we put it online, there was 59.
Wow.
June, there was 180.
180, so how many,
So that's 150 more than when
150 calls yet in a minute or two. Starts adding up. We appreciate that is what we're communicating. That's saving a lot of time.
Yeah.
in,
It makes them have to focus on their other stuff that they've got going. That works out great.
We've also I asked if there's been any negative feedback from customers. I haven't seen any on the email, and they haven't received any. We've actually had some positive feedback in that people are saying they can pay their phone bill on Friday and Saturday easier.
Yep.
Because the system can route them, rather than having to call Express Bill Pay separate, they can call in here and get routed. And
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yep.
overall positive, I
Yeah,
think.
it has helped, for sure.
Then Leal's working with, she's gonna draft some Spanish versions of the key documents on and put them on our website to also help with that and work with Desiree.
Yeah,
And how's our webpage?
It's going,
We staying up on top of that?
yeah, I think so. Trevor and I add content, Leal adds content. Leal manages the Yopify noticing, which we can talk about here. One of the other items is after hour noticing. She's evaluated a couple ways to deal with that. And we think the best route forward is probably to try to train the on-call guys that are on call already. Once they've addressed the leak, arrived on site, shut down the valving before they start, and called the people out before they start on the work, sending out, trying to get them trained so that
So
they
how
can
long is
send
it gonna
out.
take us to do that?
Well, we think we can get that going right away.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, is it gonna be practical? Are they gonna be able to do that and fit that in with all the other things that
Well, the
they're-
question I have, when we met with the union, I could discuss this part, but, we have some people saying, well, they don't get overtime.
Sure.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we turn it over and do like we do on call?
We
with our manpower and just say, okay, ladies, or, you know.
That's another option that
You know,
Leal's.
you know, that way it gives them the on-call, gives them, you know,
Yeah, it's a significant investment, and so we thought we would try this out. And if the board's, depending on how it goes, we can make a recommendation, but we're thinking it's 50 grand roughly per year to
Yeah, I
do
did a
that.
Real quick cost analysis.
Just
to
rough
it.
and, with a
So if
similar,
we-
with a similar approach to the water side. Now, we could probably cut that back, do a little tweaking, but we would recommend that time with the budget cycle for next year. Unless we wanted to try to, look for other places in the budget that we could accommodate that.
well, I mean, is our guys gonna be trained enough to do this?
That's what we don't know yet. We thought
Because
we'd
it
try
has-
it and see if it's workable.
Yopify is pretty user-friendly. It's not that difficult. It's just a matter of them taking that 5 minutes, 10 minutes to send it out. So if it works, I think our guys can grasp it. We'll just have to go through the training and find out. if
But in the
that's
meantime,
okay.
though, if they've got something big going on and they've gotta get to what they need to do to take care of it, it's gonna be impossible. They ain't gonna find time that 5 minutes to do what they
It
need to
could be
do.
challenging.
If we get them trained, I mean, if there's something emergency and, anyway, they can call me.
So, that's what we'd propose, is we try it out. But if the board wants us to move forward with in-office options, we could look at that a little
You're
closer.
saying the in-office, if we do it, it's gonna cost us $50,000?
If we kept the similar amount of call-out time. That, we could argue we might be able to go less,
Why don't you get some hard numbers and bring them back to us so we know?
okay? We just wanna make sure it's
I
fair.
mean, I'd like numbers, so, you know, let's not just guess at
Yeah,
them, let's
so
just figure it out.
I did a rotation, kind of like the standby with the water department. So my estimate was based on paying office staff 3 hours to be on standby, just to carry the laptop. And then I didn't figure in any incidences for call-outs, but that would just be them on standby. And it was about 46,000 in salaries, 4,000 in payroll taxes, and the laptop of about 800 to 1,200.
Well, you know, and the other question too, when you come to this, is, you know, how many of them really wanna be on?
We haven't done,
That-
haven't went to that
Didn't ask
step.
them
Well,
that.
I worry about that a lot, because, you know, they don't wanna, you know,
They don't want to be on call.
myself, I wouldn't want to, I'm just saying.
Let's try the
Okay.
first approach.
Okay, let's try that, and see what that works out.
We can report back and
Okay.
let you know how it goes.
Okay.
Okay? All right, the last couple items on communication and morale. We did send out the CCR report for our water quality. No feedback on that. So I think no news is good news. We sent out the flyer that we talked about last time on best time to water lawn. Hopefully, everybody's seeing that before 10 a.m. Hopefully you got a copy of that.
Well, I was up on tour of the high school the other day, and they're watering in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it's difficult for the larger facilities to get through their whole sequence.
I just think that whole landscape design was horrible up behind the football field. Instead of putting in like rock, they've got grass, and I don't know how you're gonna mow that. It's like,
Yeah, that makes it hard.
I think we need to send a letter out to whoever
to the
takes care of
district.
the LDS church, because they're watering the hottest time of the day. You just aren't using water effectively if you're watering.
Yeah, the smaller sites
5
like
and
that,
6
I don't
o'clock.
think there's any reason why
Yeah.
they can't. The schools, it does make it challenging to get through their whole time irrigation sequence and the big parks.
Have something running 24/7.
Yeah, right up here where the new sign's going in for the school. That's all dead, that grass.
I don't know. I think we really need to maybe personally call, see if I can find a name. There's 2 different groups that take care of it, and Whoever sets the clock, that's the person we need to talk to, whoever's responsible for setting the clock. Because you just are not using that water effectively if you're doing it at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon when it's the hottest time
Or
of the
even
day.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, I've seen that too.
And the other one too is fix the sprinklers so they're not watering concrete. I've noticed both those things.
In the road.
We can do, have you follow up with, we should have some contacts on the church. We can get to you. Okay, the participation in the 4th of July parade, I think went well. We did run short on candy again. There was so many kids out there this year. It was quite successful, I think. We had mostly positive feedback towards the crew out there. There was only one negative comment that I heard. So
What was that?
keep the skunks out of the water.
Oh.
They got it
Instead of the
wrong.
raccoons, right?
Yeah, they got it wrong, that's okay.
They got it wrong.
They
but
got
that's
it
okay. Overall, really well. Most people cheered. We love Magna Water. You know, they were maybe trying to get candy from us. My back was sore. I told Andrew, we got to come up with another candy delivery
Shovel or
method.
something.
I felt like I had to shovel it out as I was
Need a
walking.
battery operated unit, you just trickle it in and throw it out.
But it was fun. I appreciate the board supporting that, and seeing all the people out there is neat. There were a lot of them. We've made that shift to a summer schedule for the operations employees. The feedback's been positive. And Steve had some comments from the crew.
The guys, they all wanted me to pass along a thank you. They really appreciate it, so,
Great.
said it.
Like I said, we're all in favor of it until it goes sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it goes sideways, then we just go back to our regular shift.
Yeah, we haven't had seen any increase in tardiness, so that's good.
No, they all appreciate it, so I think they're
Great.
doing whatever they can do to keep it.
Good.
Thank you.
Andrew's finalized the safety program survey to be sent out.
Yeah, I've actually got 23 responses. I'd say they're all positive. Majority of them on their comments want some more stuff similar to what we did with the trench box training.
More hands-on.
More hands-on, bigger things like that. And then they gave back some topics that they would be interested in learning about, some things like chlorine safety and underground utilities and things like that. I think it was a good response overall.
Good deal. Fantastic.
And that's all I wanted to highlight, unless the board has any other questions.
Well, where are we at on our, change room?
Change room?
Yeah, down at the sewer plant. It's not moving very fast.
Well, we didn't budget for construction this year, or design.
Why did we not budget? Especially when that was
We
a,
were in the study phase.
especially when that was the board's decision to get that going.
We were in the study phase. That's where we budgeted. And so while that was being done, we didn't have the opportunity to put it.
Well, maybe we need to take something off and put this on because it's a safety issue.
Yeah, we can definitely work with Bone and Collins to get a scope.
Okay, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that next month, please.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the engineering report.
Okay. Thank you, Chair and Board. So, progress on projects. Let's see, influent project, the grid building, there's block being put up now. So that's, getting above grade. The pump station, there's been significant, concrete pours. The large, slope section is where, as well as some upper portions of that, and they're working on the walls. There's been a lot of site piping being put in, as well as a large meter vault that will come out of that pump station. Haynes number 8 well, for that grant, we resubmitted our work plan and our environmental for final approval. Anticipating hearing back from the EPA, hopefully within a couple weeks, and then we can start our final application there. Haynes number 7, been working with, the contractor to set up a kickoff meeting. It's looking like it'll be, 2 weeks, end of July. For the West Side Collection Project, the open cut portion is essentially complete. They've raised and coated all of those manholes. Still trying to get their striper out there, but the road is open. And then with the fiber relocation, we've identified through our potholing work and working with UDOT, we had an option of 2,000 feet of relocation or 1,000. We were able to identify it at 1,000, and UDOT's okay with that. So we reduced the amount that needs to be relocated. Currently working on a couple drawings that we can get to our contractor and work to get someone out there to start that process.
How long's that gonna delay the project?
They probably would have been done with the bore by now, had it continued, so we're probably, I would say, maybe another 3 months.
Do we have to pay any extra money for that?
So the relocation will be a change to the contract price.
You expect it'll be pricey?
It's a similar type of bore to when Google Fiber was going and Americon was doing all of that. So it's not a real significantly different than any communication, but I don't actually have a real grasp on the cost.
Do we
of this one.
relocate, it's 3 new conduits, we'll relocate, or we'll run 3 new
We
conduits?
identified 5 in a bundle, and so.
5 conduits in a bundle?
So
And
that's,
then when we get that all done, then we pay to have somebody come in and then reroute
then
and do all the connections?
UDOT will work to reroute the fiber lines that are in those
Do we pay for that?
conduit. A cost, yeah.
We can't share the cost with them because it
We're
lives.
in discussions with that with UDOT, but it's not.
Do we need to get our legal counsel involved in that?
I can discuss it with Nathan and see if there's some grounds for that.
Because you know what, it's not our fault.
No, it's not. 17 feet, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if we do, maybe we can negotiate with them a little bit, I don't know.
Right. And that road looks better now than it ever has looked.
Oh, good.
And so I don't know if you guys all know that rock house down there got bought out by Kennecott.
Oh, did it? Interesting.
It's gonna be part of the buffer zone.
Really needs to be though. Yep.
They didn't know there was a bunch of wells down there. Springs, they didn't know there was a bunch of springs.
Next project, Zone 3, secondary water reservoir. We've got a pre-construction meeting next week. Anticipate within 2 weeks, kind of mobilizing, getting that going. Still on schedule, work through the end of the summer into fall, have that online for next year's irrigation season. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the water report, Steve.
All right, thanks, Chair and Board. The culinary water production for the month of June was 242.16 million gallons, or 743.21 acre feet, and that was a 4.65% increase from 2024. Year-to-date, the production for June was 834.09 million gallons, or 2,559.92 acre feet, which was a 10.77% increase from 2024. Year-to-date, we purchased 397.91 acre feet from Jordan Valley Water. Our secondary water production for the month of June was 90.19 million gallons, which is 276.82 acre feet. That's a 7.34% increase from 2024. Year-to-date so far, we produced 169.04 million gallons, or 518.8 acre feet. That's a 15.49% increase from 2024. As far as call-outs go, we had a total of 23. 20 of them were on the water side, 3 of them were on the wastewater side, for a total call-out hours of 79. 70 of those were water, 9 of them were wastewater. We had 1 main line leak, 3 service line leaks, and then 19 miscellaneous calls.
So the 3 on the wastewater, what were they?
We had some power issues and we had some high torque alarms on some of the screening equipment.
Okay. So, Tuesday night at our council meeting, we had Alan Packer come out from Jordan Valley Water and present to us, proposing an increase. And if you don't really know much about water or whatever, you know, we take very little water. And that's the thing I've been trying to educate people in the town about this is we have that water for an emergency in case one of our wells go down. And the increase they're proposing, it's like $11 for a year. So you turn around,
For each home.
yeah, so, the council wants me to vote the increase down. But I need to educate them a little bit more so they understand, because I'm having a hard time, because they're saying we don't use much water, but we still have the infrastructure that we have to pay for, the pipes, you know, I mean, what, just because we use that much little, it's still running through, it's still coming into us. So that comes with a cost. And for $11 a year per home, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, if there's anything I can help with on that, let me
Okay,
know.
and I might have you come down and present at one of our council meetings about that.
Happy to do that.
Okay,
I agree with you. I think it's important that we preserve that for the.
right.
We need it.
Well, at least they know it's not us.
Right. But you know.
And I will say that Jordan Valley has relative costs, we've done well.
Right.
Compared to the other.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the way they take the water.
Oh,
Because
yes,
it's how much we use.
Consistent.
Right.
We take it at a flat rate.
right.
So.
Well, and the problem we're having is we know in this town, our taxes are way high. Our taxes are higher here than West Jordan.
Wow.
So, you know, when you turn around, look at all the service districts we have and police, fire, Magna Water, school district, mosquito abatement.
Sure.
Our property tax, and the city doesn't propose a property tax. So, you know, I've been hearing that a lot as I've been out campaigning. Is that it, Steve?
Yes, that's all.
Thank you. Okay, Dallas?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. I'd like to just start off with the wastewater collections crew and give an update on maintenance. The boys are out throughout the town in the Vactor right now. They're currently on 35th South between 8,000 and 7,200, kind of up near Valley Forge. So if you see the Vactor on the streets up there, that's kind of where we're targeting our maintenance right now. And then as far as the camera van goes, we're just here on 35th, just below the office, working our way towards 8,400. So, and then we've budgeted for a potential camera replacement next year. We just hit the 10-year mark with that equipment and van. So we've been doing some demos with some of the different manufacturers just to see if it makes sense, to see if we've got a good trade-in. And so that's something we're evaluating right now. On the wastewater treatment side, I want to just highlight the increase in reuse volume. In May, we used 32 million gallons. This month in June, we went up to 57. So about a 75% increase, or 24 more million gallons. We think based on historical data, July is potentially our peak. So we anticipate that increase again next month. Right now, it's about 35% of the plant flow. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman, unless you've got any questions.
No, the only question I have is, you know, we need to be careful out on the roads because lots of traffic, so we need to make sure our barricades, everything's all set up. Because last thing is don't want to get any of our people hurt.
Right.
So
So
we
what's
need,
the report back on our reliability? What are we doing with oil samples and vibration?
Everything everything seems to be going good with the new testing facility. We've had a couple samples go. I've got a login for the online dashboard, and we can track and trend the samples that have gone out. There haven't been a ton of samples, just based on need. So, but
So did we pick the new company that does everything?
yeah, the one that you recommended, cheaper price, real user-friendly interface. They help you analyze it. They've got tutorials. It's been great.
Is it better information than Wheeler was giving you?
Easier to read, easier to access.
And
and
they
then
track it for you and everything?
Correct. Yeah, it's been really good. The collection is a little more stringent, and the drop-off is a little more formal, but the analysis is a lot better.
Did they ever talk specifically about how to collect samples? That's really important.
It is, yep, and based on the equipment that you're sampling from, there's different protocol, right? So, essentially what we did is you get a nameplate of the equipment, and then you let them know, hey, this is the equipment that we're gonna be sampling from, and then there's a suggested sample collection procedure. So,
It should give us some reliability.
Yeah, I think positive. Been meeting with Dallas and going through different aspects of the plant. I'll be able to present what I find. That'll continue till the end of the year, but real positive results so far. I'm impressed. One thing that he's put together that we'll probably include in your packet next month is a daily, or a kind of a quick overview plant health. And it will have some of this information that he talks about, but also have some of those indicators, those key indicators that we can look at quickly and say, how's the plant doing? We're gonna put a summary sheet in the packet for the board, and then you'll be able to see.
Should any of this stuff be included in the EDR plan?
Yeah, we could put something together.
Are you including some of that?
Yeah, so we haven't had to do any
Vibration
of
on
the
the-
samples yet, but we are gonna be using the same Polaris lab.
So do we need to mount another satellite at the EDR plant so that they can gather vibration data on your pumps and stuff?
What did you end up doing?
we haven't gone for the vibration monitoring equipment yet.
We've been looking into just the handheld.
We don't, it's too hard to train people to do
We've,
that correctly.
we've aborted on the handheld, and we're looking for more of a permanent fixed. And there's two, really, it's come down to two entities that we're trying to go with, so we're just trying to match up what we need with budget.
I'd like to see that cost. It would be interesting to see. They tout that they're competitive, so. And I'm not against training somebody, but when we have a turnover of people and stuff like that, and there's a lot of human error in there when you've got fixed equipment and you can send the data to somebody else and they can analyze it, that's all they do. And so you don't have human error, as much human error in there,
That makes sense.
so.
Very good.
Okay, Leal, let's move on to you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. I'm happy to report that, according to the list, we're in compliance with all our legal requirements. The audit report was filed with the state auditor's office in time, and the financial certification was filed, so haven't heard back on that. No comment, or no reply is good news.
Right.
No news is good news, that's what I was trying to think of. So I think we're good there. We also submitted the financial report to the Federal Clearinghouse because of our because of our, oh my gosh, it just left my mind. Our other type of audit that we had to have, Yellow Book. Anyway, we're in compliance with that. It was all submitted. What's coming up though this month is the State Money Management Council report for the end of June, but it's not due till July 31st. And the payroll quarterly reports are due this month. And the transparency financial information is due by the end of this month. So we're working on that. We did have, and Andrew will probably tell you, we did have the sexual harassment training for the employees. So yeah, that's all I have unless you have any questions.
Do you have any questions? Okay, let's move on. Andrew?
Thank you, Board and Chair. So this month, as we all said, we had our annual sexual harassment training. And we'll be having another training with that is one of our required ones this month as well. This month we're focusing on PPE. Specifically, we've talked about safety boots, different types of glove, hand injuries, and things like that. We did a trench shoring training. As you can see, we've got some pictures from that training. I think it was positive overall. I think we learned a lot, and we also had an opportunity to do some after action on what could have went better. Coinciding with this, we looked into some other shoring options. We had a demo yesterday with Mountain Land on some inflatable shoring. The panels themselves are light enough that one person can pick them up, and you slide the bar in, and then you just twist the bar, and it extends to how wide you want it. I set a timer when they started to set up, and it was 10 minutes setup time. And I set a timer when they started deflating, it was 10 minutes takedown. We're assuming that it'd be even faster if we're using our compressor because it has more capacity. But it would definitely be faster than what we're currently doing. Probably safer, definitely safer, and a lot more user-friendly. We're in the process of getting some competitive bids. I've got one back, and we're waiting on Mountain Lands. But we're assuming the bids are all gonna come back in the $8,000 range for the whole kit. And that comes with cases that it all sits in. And you just put it in the truck and it's there with you all the time.
I have a question, Andrew. How many feet are we usually having to shore on?
So what you're seeing here specifically is our bigger trench box because,
8 footer?
yeah,
Or 10 footer?
I think it's 8.
That's 8.
We were having troubles securing big trench boxes when we had big jobs because the time we'd have them would be the same time everybody else was having them. And so we have this bigger trench box. That's what you're seeing going up right now. And currently the smaller holes that we're going in on more smaller service line leaks are generally 5 feet, 4 feet.
In between park strips.
Yeah, and this doesn't fit, so we use the shoring boards with hydraulic pumps.
Yeah, that's what we always did, because you're just using standard plywood, and you drop the plywood. The thing I worry about this is a lot of guys are using a boom truck, because getting the backhoe very close to the trench makes another hazard.
Yes.
And so if you use the plywood with the hydraulic rams, you just drop 4 foot down on both sides, and then that hydraulic ram, and you pump it out. It's pretty.
And that's what we do in the smaller holes.
You think the inflatable has got a lot of advantages?
I do. I think it'd be faster set up. The hydraulic, you're dealing with, you have to have it cut, you have to have it set up flat, flush, and so it's hard to get the boards lined up. They're heavy. The hydraulics can leak.
Yeah, I was out on their deal, and I don't like the hydraulics. I think it's this more safety aspect, because if you get a hydraulic leak, then it.
I've never had a leak ever. I've used it for a couple of years.
We have, right?
Yeah, the one right now is leaking a little bit out of the sill, and they maintain it and test it every time they use it. But there is just extra challenges with that you wouldn't see with the inflatable.
How old are our hydraulic units?
They're only a couple years old.
Only a couple.
We just got new tanks.
Well, let me just tell you, so when we do cylinder repacks, these are probably pretty easy, but the seals, they wanted $1,200 to repack a cylinder.
Wow.
You can buy the parts for about less than $100. And if we know how to do it, maybe we should service our own.
Yeah,
You'd be a lot happier with that.
Bob has actually been rebuilding them for us.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, if they even show any signs of any leak, I would get them right over and service them.
Yeah.
But they usually were so portable and so easy and so strong. We did a lot of work at the airport where it was very easily soft ground clay, and they did a real
So,
good.
so we use actual shoring boards, we don't use
Don't
standard
use
plywood,
plywood.
and they're pretty heavy.
A lot of the problem we run into too is there's so much stuff in the ground already that our hole can't be perfectly straight up and down.
Rock and-
And so one board might be kicked off to the side or at an angle like that, and when the rams are pushing against it, it wants to slide up, so
Oh.
we gotta figure out a way that we can keep pressure down on it so that it don't.
Yeah, we had double rams so that when from one side, you would lay it down and it would go in flat and then it would go out. A shoe would go out and go to both sides, and we'd only do 4 feet at a time. So,
Yeah, so that's kinda how ours is set up, but just the way, I mean, for 90% of the holes it works, we just get the oddball one.
With a
that
big
kicks
rock that you can't remove out from underneath the sidewalk, or other utilities that are in the way,
so
that
you think
where
the
it would break.
inflatable might be a,
I think the inflatable would be worth looking at.
okay,
If you guys have interest in us bringing some more information next month, we can have that ready for you, some bids and things like that.
you have to worry about a big rock on an inflatable.
No, we talked to him, so that you fill it up with 14 pounds of pressure and it was rock solid, you can jump on it. And they'd sold some to a contractor down in St. George, 5 of them, and they were a little worried about that as well, because of the lava rock and stuff. And they said, if you're really that worried, just throw a piece of plywood behind it, but
like a
you're,
1/4 inch sheet of plywood.
but you're not gonna run into anything that's gonna be a problem. They haven't had any leaks on any of them that they've sold.
So-
If they do get a leak, you send it back to them, they send you a new one, and they repair that one, and then they send you yours
What's
back.
the lifespan on an inflatable, do you think? Have they told you?
We'll have to ask.
I mean, I can see the big thing is that storage. If you can keep out of sunlight and everything,
Yeah.
it's probably gonna last a long time.
Yeah, I think so. It feels similar to like those inflatable paddle boards that are made with that PVC liner.
So does it give you, what kind of room does it give you to work in the trench? You have to make a wider trench with inflatable?
It's about that thick
Oh, that's it?
on each side, and so you're adding an extra probably 8 inches total.
So
8 to a
what
foot.
spreads it?
So you set them down in, and then they send you 4 bars that you slot into there and tie it to, and then you just twist it with a wrench,
Basically
and
a
it
screw
spreads
jack.
it.
They're easy enough, you can just twist it by hand if you want, so, but if you really want to.
Sounds a lot faster.
Yeah, you're talking, you could be completely set up you can have those inflated before the hole's being done, Doug, and be completely set up within 5 minutes of after the hole's
So
done.
we own the hydraulics now, right?
Yes.
So if we service those and we invest in some inflatables, then you've got best of both worlds.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah,
got a
so
lot of-
between that and then we got that one as well, for like the bigger jobs, we'd be pretty set.
That's just so hard to reach over and set in the trench.
Yeah.
Everybody I've ever known has always had to rent a boom truck to reach over and set it in.
And for most of the jobs that we have used it on, we get Bob out there with his truck to
Oh.
drop it in for us.
Don't tie him up when you're doing that. Is that the only boom truck we got is one?
Yeah,
Oh,
so.
we might need to invest in another boom truck. Okay.
Okay, you do.
And then, the last thing that I'll touch on is, again, I think the safety survey was well-received, and I think it gave us some good information back. That's it for me, Chair and Board. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move over to Trevor.
Okay. This is an amendment to our task order for the lead and copper support. As you know, AE2S has been helping us from the beginning on lead and copper during our inventory and just how as things have evolved and progressed. We were able to utilize some of that original task order to help us design this replacement as well. And so this is just an amendment to that to continue the support. There's additional inventory needs as well as this replacement project. So we just asked them to put together an amendment to that task order for $80,000 to continue their support with us. And this is not just, it's not estimated to just be 2025. This will allow them to continue to support us through next year and the following year as the lead and copper rule requires.
Looks good to me. Any comments?
We had to go from 80,000 up to 118.
What was the question?
Just looking at the adjustment, change in price.
For a total,
Yeah.
the original was
The-
38.6.
I think the biggest thing is it's multi-year.
Right.
We debated whether we cut this up into just yearly chunks, but felt like it would probably be best to estimate the full, close out the project, right?
Okay,
We okay on this?
yeah.
Okay, we need a motion on this, right?
Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to, for AE2S Amendment Number 1 to Task Order 7LCRR LCR1, support in the amount of $80,000.
I'll second that.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on to administration. Leal.
I just had this put on the agenda to let you know, we get a letter from Salt Lake County Treasurer every year, asking for our budget hearing dates. So for 2026, that's what we'll meet in November. Usually that's when we have our budget hearing.
Okay,
It would be November 13th, which is the second week of November, and, if we were going to put a tax increase in effect in 2026, we'd have to hold it at 6 PM.
okay.
But I'm assuming that, that won't happen, so we'll have it at 10 AM, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. I will write them back and let them know it'll be November 13th at 10 AM then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, so this is the amended AR&R light duty policy. I think the highlights on this are that we designed a policy to bring to the board that first, if there is a person that is needing light duty because of something that happened outside of work or an elective surgery, they will need to exhaust all their time off prior to being allowed to use that light duty. And that they'll have a doctor's release from their doctor and see our doctor as well, so that we can assign them the requisite
But do we have the
job.
right to deny or accept their light duty? I mean, to come back, let's just say let's say I had something, I went to the doctor, got a light duty doctor, I went to our doctor, and he gave us light duty, so as long as he goes to our doctor and the doctor says, yes, we can recommend him light duty.
Yeah, so what-
We can move forward with that, right?
Yeah, so what they'll do is, they'll go to their doctor, their doctor's basically only gonna send something back that says like, they can only lift 12 pounds and can't bend over. So then they go into our doctors with that information, and
The
they,
doctor says, no, we don't have anything.
and they go look through the list that these guys all came up with on what we have, and they say, okay, well, these jobs meet these restrictions. This is what,
Have we got that list? Has the board got the list of what the recommend?
I can bring that into
So
you.
you know what, I don't want to approve this today then, till I
Okay.
see the list. Unless the other two guys unless you two want to approve it.
that's fine.
I'd like to see what the list is first before I go ahead and move forward.
The
with
light duty
approving it.
list?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have that for you.
Is it in the two different departments?
It's, so every job has a different list. So Steve has construction and EDR and the mechanics.
And if you guys feel good, you want to move on to approve it, you can, but I'd like to see what the light duty list is for his department and also his department and the administration department.
Yeah, that's good. I would the only caveat would be that might change over time, potentially if we change the scope or the job description. That list might change as so we can bring in that list as a.
First, before I want to approve it, I'd like to at least see the list.
Sure,
I mean, I
absolutely.
haven't seen the list, have you? Okay, and I have, and if you guys want to approve this, we
More
can.
importantly, though, the doctor, our doctor representative, will have the list, and so
Yes.
he can apply
Okay.
that. That's probably more important.
Okay, and if you guys feel
Nathan
good,
had
if you guys feel good
question.
about it,
Nathan
I'm,
had a question.
yes.
So just a couple clarifying things with this. So the way it's drafted now, and we do have some things we have to comply with the law. And so as
Right.
Andrew said, if someone's injured outside of work, the policy says that they have to exhaust all of their sick or administrative leave unless they qualify for reasonable accommodations under the Americans with Disabilities
Right,
Act.
right.
Or if there's we give the general manager the discretion, because maybe it just makes sense in that particular case. But the idea is that if it's not related to work, that's what your sick leave and your administrative leave is worth. The way that this is structured is this will be an amendment to the AR and Rs.
Right, right.
And so it provides the authorization, and we don't necessarily need it, but it requires the staff to develop a list of light-duty assignments. But it's not something that, the light-duty list is not being approved, because that's an administrative thing that's going to change over time depending on your personnel. So the light-duty list is not part of this policy. So if you approve this, if you can do that too, you can see if I like the way the assignments are. But that approved duty list is going to operate somewhat independently of this, because what's on the agenda today is the policy, not the development of the list. What this says is, the district will maintain a list of these light-duty assignments that it will use in implementing the
So we
policy.
can approve this without,
Yes, because what this says is this provides the express direction.
okay, I understand that, okay.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what the light duty is.
I'll get those for you.
Yeah.
One thing I worry about, what's our time frame? Have we limited a time frame on this?
Well, it's just going to
How long can
depend.
they be on light duty for? I mean,
Yeah.
is it 6 weeks? Is it 2 months? Is it a year? Is it 2 years? I mean, what's the light duty policy?
How do we evaluate that is my question.
So that's what you're going to do with your doctor's office. Because ideally what the doctors, they're going to evaluate these guys. Let's say somebody hurts their back digging a ditch on the job, right? And then they come back, they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, okay, he hurt his back, here's what he's going to need to do to improve. It's 2 months, it's 3 months. The problem is it's kind of hard with everybody having different medical needs and timeframes to just say, well, you're only eligible for a certain amount of time.
Okay, but I agree with you on that part, but what about off the job?
It does,
So he hurts his back off the job doing the same thing, so.
it is listed as temporary.
Yeah.
It's temporary, and so basically the other thing is if it states in there that if there's not work, then we don't have to bring them back on. So if Dallas has somebody that needs to come back and it says the doctor says 12 weeks, but Dallas only has 6 weeks of work, well, then we only have 6 weeks of
Yeah,
work.
there is a 3-month limit here under section 1813,
Right,
5.6. So basically what it says is that light duty assignments are strictly temporary and should not exceed 3 months in duration. However, after 3 months, eligible employees on light duty who are not capable of returning to the original assignment shall present a request for extension of light duty with supporting medical certification and pursue other options as provided by the employment provisions of the district or federal or state law. So the idea is we kind of have a check-in point.
Well, I
at
just
3
want to
months.
make sure we're all on the same page, because you're gonna give me light duty, but you're gonna deny him light duty, and then we're gonna create a problem.
Well, and that was the intent of this policy, was to have a process to
Okay.
avoid that.
Okay.
Because technically, light duty
You know what
isn't,
we went through, right?
yeah, light duty is not something that's a right. Now, someone who's injured on the job, or in some cases injured offside the job, can be entitled to reasonable accommodations. But light duty isn't something that they're entitled to. So we've tried to come up with an objective process. They go get a doctor's list. They come in, we compare the doctor's list. If we have questions, we can have our own doctor look at it. But ultimately, we compare what a competent licensed medical professional says they can do with our list of available light duty assignments for that person. So to your point, Mick, if someone comes in and says, well, how come this other person got to work in the office and I don't get any light duty assignments? And we would say, well, in that case, the doctor said that they were able to do office work, and that particular employee had qualifications and criteria where they were qualified to do that office work. In your particular case, you can't do the work that we need, and we don't have an extra space for you that you're qualified to do, at least safely.
How about the difference between somebody that gets hurt off the job, that not employed by us, and they're at home and they get hurt? How do we treat that?
So we got to treat everybody somewhat the same. The one distinction, though, is we have said, if you're hurt off the job, or like, let's say you take an elective surgery, let's say I wanted to get hair transplants or something, elective, and that I have like a week-long recovery, or who knows, whatever, right? In that case, that's what your personal leave and your sick leave is for.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why we're saying,
No matter what, you're
yeah, if
still
you get hurt off the job, you got to use your own leave, or you do some sort of elective surgery, you got to use your own leave first. You've got to exhaust that before we'll give you a light duty assignment, unless you're entitled to a reasonable accommodation under the ADA, or there's some circumstance that Clint, his discretion, thinks makes sense. Like say we're just really short-staffed and we need somebody critically, and they're qualified to do it, and their doctor's note says they can.
Are you okay to approve this?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
go
it's
for it.
good.
then. Let's approve
One
it.
other thing I want to note, in the adopting resolution, this is an amendment to the AR&Rs.
Right.
And so that's going to require some reformatting and things. And so subject to what this says is when in approving this resolution, you're going to authorize staff to update the AR&Rs to include this.
Okay.
I've already done that. I just wanted to make sure we get through this, because every time you tweak it, it changes page
Right.
numbers. and
No,
that sort of
I get
thing.
that.
So the idea is you'll approve this, and then we will be authorized to go make non-substantive changes to the AR&Rs to put this in there. So, fixing the formatting, making the numbering work, making the table of contents work, and we don't have to bring that back to you again.
I think this is a real positive and appreciate the board's consideration for it.
We needed a long time ago.
Yeah, we needed a long time ago, but yeah, we got it.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-07, amending the district's administrative rules and regulations to enact a light-duty policy.
Second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, our next board meeting will be held August 14th here at 10 a.m. We are in need of a closed meeting today, but there won't be any action taken after we come out of the closed meeting. So you guys are welcome to hang out till we come back or be excused.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to take a brief recess and immediately following meet in a closed meeting to discuss the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual, the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, including any form of water right or water shares, and collective bargaining purposes pursuant to Utah Code 52-4-204 through 205.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I want to reach out to you and thank you for coming. It is 1:31. We're in close, going into open. Will someone make a motion to close the close and open the open?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to close the closed meeting and reopen the public board meeting.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have anything else to come towards this body today? Any other business we need to take? Okay, if we see none, I'd like to have some motion to close. To adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.